Holly here. Really excited to be starting the channel. Part of my New Year's resolution this year was obviously to start the channel, but to also try to get outside in nature a little bit more. I figure maybe if I did that, I'd start understanding why some of you guys like full cars so much. Anyway, I found this park. It looks pretty cool. I'll show you guys some of it in a little bit. What is that? Hey, how's the vacation?
Going great. How are you?
I'm all right. I went to that park I told you about today.
What was it called again?
Crystal Lake? I don't know. I'm kind of freaked out though. I'm looking at some of my footage from earlier and it almost looks like somebody was there watching me.
Probably nothing. Plastic
All
bag,
right,
a
guys.
tree, something like that.
I
Just
think I
make sure
need
you
to
lock the door. You
take a
never
break
do.
for a minute. Shit.
Even
You're right. I'll do
watching
that
for a
now.
while.
Love you. I'll see you tomorrow. All right, guys. Decided to take a break. I've been hiking for a while. I got to make sure I get out of here before it gets dark. I don't know if I'm feeling more in tune with nature yet. I mean, it is nice here, as you can see. No sign of the lake, but maybe I'll come back on another day. It's just a little too cold for me today. Well, that's one problem solved. Hey, I'm Holly. Welcome to the channel where I will be discussing all things horror, whether that's reviewing, tier list, or overall hyping up or talking shit about some of the newest and oldest movies there are. You can also catch me on Shockmania with my buddies, the Artie Dans and Ned Knight, where we do live streams and talk about different topics. So, I think it's pretty obvious which movie we are here to talk about today. In honor of the first out of three Friday the 13th of 2026, we will be looking at 1980s Friday the 13th. And yes, I know. What else can we really say about a 46-year-old movie that has been reviewed to hell and back? But we're going to do it anyway. So I will preface this by saying that Jason Voorhees is not my favorite slasher, but I still think that this movie was pivotal and important to launch the slasher genre. Let's talk about the things that I still like about this movie. For starters, the practical effects really do hold up even after 46 years. Obviously, they're not going to be things that you would see in a movie now, but practical effects that can hold up nearly 50 years later, that's a win, especially in a CGI AI dominated world. That stuff can make or break a film, And that is one thing that Friday the 13th genuinely still stands out for. The other thing that I absolutely love about Friday the 13th, it has my favorite horror trope of all time. And that would be when the crazy person shows up to warn you, you don't listen, and then you are violently massacred. You have no one to blame but yourself. And yeah, I'm looking at you, Crazy Ralph.
I'm a messenger of God. You're doomed if you stay here.
The other thing that I find that was pretty well done is the casting, obviously, other than Betsy Palmer. The camp counselors are, for the most part, pretty believable. And let's not forget that we get Kevin Bacon in this. Need I say more? But the camp counselors are actually pretty believable. And that's actually something I prefer over Halloween. The acting is, in general, just better, in my opinion. Let's talk about one important detail. No, Jason Voorhees was not the killer in the first Friday the 13th. That would be his mother, Pamela Voorhees.
How are you? Well, I'm Mrs. Voorhees, an old friend of the Christies.
And I have to say, the subversion is or was remarkable. That's something that wasn't done at that point in time the way that it is now. But can you imagine being in Alice's situation where she has just seen all of her friends get killed? This old lady comes and she thinks like, great, someone's going to help me save the day and escape. And all of a sudden, no, the sweet little old lady is actually the one who did it all and is now coming after you. Yeah, trust no one. Now let's come to the thing I don't like. This movie is boring. I hate to say it. It is pretty boring now. I don't think I remembered it being this boring. I don't think I thought it was this boring when I was a child or a teen. But it is pretty boring now. I feel like yes, you're getting little snippets of the kills happening, but it's a whole long, drawn out thing. And then you've got 15 to 20 minutes at the end where it's, the revelation, the the showdown, the Jason cameo at the end, which, by the way, is top notch. But this movie for me just doesn't hold up in the keeping me entertained aspect the way that other movies from this time period do. I will more than likely rewatch the original Halloween over this. I do find it a little bit more interesting. Now, comparatively, the kills in Friday the 13th are actually better. The practical effects on the gore for the kills are substantially more interesting than the Halloween kills, but I feel that the tension throughout the movie just isn't there for me. Don't get me wrong, there is tension. You've got, the atmospheric build up, you've got the music. The other thing is it's really cool to see a lot of the kills being done POV wise, and you still have no idea who the killer is. But I just want to enjoy the entire movie a little bit more as opposed to just the last 15 to 20 minutes. I said earlier this was the first of 3 Friday the 13th in 2026. In November, we will be having our third and final one, and Peacock will actually be dropping the prequel series Crystal Lake that day. Yeah, a prequel series. I am in the camp that this did not need a prequel series. I don't feel we are really going to benefit much more from having a prequel series. Of course, I'm going to watch it. I'm going to give it an unbiased opinion. I just didn't feel the need for it, especially we are in a day and age where everything gets a prequel now, and they're not always great. I tend to find them to be, well, they don't add anything of substance for me. Look at things like the Ratchet prequel. That it was style and gore over substance. I unfortunately feel that prequels, especially when it's prequel shows, tend to up the shock value and lose the substance. They don't pay homage in the proper way to the originals. When you start adding unnecessary things, whether it's unnecessary details, unnecessary characters, unnecessary shock value, you start to degrade what made the original good in the first place. You take the charm and the nuance away. So I'm interested to see where they're going to go with it. I just hope that they don't go too far with it, if that makes sense. I'm also interested to see how it's going to be done style-wise, since I believe that A24 is the one doing the show. I don't tend to love everything that A24 does. I find them to be sometimes a little too artsy for my taste. I do always give them a chance though, but I'm interested to see the artistic choices that they're going to do. Well, anyway, this doesn't need to be a long review since, again, what else can really be said about Friday the 13th? But I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you also enjoyed our first little Holly's Haunts episode. If you are interested to see what I have to say in the future, hit subscribe. Also, let me know what you think. Do you love horror prequels? Are you getting tired of them? Do you think there's a time and place for them? Should every horror movie from previous days get a prequel? Let me know. Anyway, I'm Holly. Thanks for watching.